It's Wednesday and I'm in full decorating mode for banquet. I had one of my class periods, like I was like, everyone is gonna paint, because I didn't realize that it's a long weekend. I have Monday off, so I have tomorrow and that's it, like today and tomorrow to make decorations, and then we decorate on Tuesday for the 8th grade banquet. So I was like, oh my god, I have to make so many decorations. But thankfully the Spanish teacher here is a saint, so she's helping me with like so much stuff. So let me show you what they did. I don't know if I've said this yet, but the theme is Hollywood. So you're gonna see a lot of stars. I decided to do this today. I'm gonna make some film reels, and I think I have 5 of them. And then they didn't get a chance to finish this, but this is a big thing of film. All of these are gonna go on centerpieces, so they had to paint all of the dowels black. And that would have taken me forever, but I had like a whole table working on them. I have a little paparazzi guy right here taking pictures. I decided to make a very large Oscar, but this is gonna need some work because it started to warp the rest of the Oscars right here. Oh, there's some more of the film reels, more stars. So yeah, my Oscar is all bent. I totally did not think about the fact that this was gonna warp. So I'm gonna have to lie it down. And I'm gonna have to I think I'm gonna have to do another coat, and that will hopefully also help it flatten. But the idea is that the film reels, the Oscar, the paparazzis, and that roll of film will go on these. I didn't know I had these. I found these in the stores, so they're gonna go, this will be a stand for them. And they'll be for a backdrop. Like, I've just been cutting cardboard and it's just everywhere. I had another group of girls painting these dowels for centerpieces. Like, there are a bunch of them, there are 20. No, there are 25 of those. I really didn't want to do that, so I'm so glad they were more than willing to help me paint. But now I just have like a ton of paint everywhere. But, so right now it's 6th period, and when I have 6th graders and they're on a field trip. So I actually have like an extra period off, thank God. So I have 6th period without kids, 7th is my lunch, and then I also have my conference 9th, so I have a lot of time. Tomorrow's the Hoop Fest, so I'm hoping, so it's like an event that kind of happens for like, it's like a 3-hour thing, so I'm hoping I can just not go if the principals let me, so I can stay in here and keep making decorations. But let me show you these. So this is what we're making for some centerpieces. Now this is just a part of it. How cute. It has like flowers. It's still gonna have things like sticking in here, but yeah, it's a lot of work and like not a lot of time. But I'm gonna keep painting, and I think I just kind of need to gather myself a little bit and kind of see what I have, what I still need to make. But it's getting there. It's Friday. I have no lipstick on my lips, so I feel weird. And I think I have glitter like all over my face. But it was such a tough day. I was finishing up stuff for the dance, like making last minute decorations, and then I had to finish the crest. So I spent almost the entire day working on the crest, because there were just things that were like messed up when I would print the crest. Like some colors would turn out really weird, and then the crest outline itself needed to be thicker, and doing that I needed an Apple Pencil and like Procreate to draw it. And so I was hunting down my kids that I know have an iPad and asking if they had a pencil that I could borrow. But it was just so difficult. And at one point I was like, I cannot do this. Like, I really don't think I can make these lines thicker because I can't draw on top of the lines with my finger. And I don't have an Apple Pencil. And then even when I had a pencil, the lines would like change, like the variety of the line would change, like the thickness of it. So I was like, oh my God. But I did it. I was able to send it to the principal and it is now out of my hands, and I'm so happy because, oh my God, that crest has been like haunting me for a really long time. But it's done. And the 8th grade banquet, I almost have everything made. So I'm really happy about that too. But today, like, I wanted to like cry. I was so overwhelmed. And I think I got so many steps in. I was walking around the school like a mad woman. But that was my day. I think I showed some like clips of what I was doing. So I had a lot of time to work on the decorations after the crest, but that was pretty crazy. But it's done and I'm super happy. And maybe I'll show a picture of the design, but I'm so glad that's over. And it's kind of cool because like my name, my initials are on that crest, and that's gonna be our school crest. So pretty cool. But today I'm getting groceries. Oh, they're here. Yeah, just got some groceries. And what I really want to do today are my nails, because these nails are so ugly. Like, I thought I would like this, but paint got underneath them and they just look so bad. And they were like clumpy. Like, I wasn't able to get them very flat. So I want to do a solid color, and I'm trying to decide if I should go to Sally's and try to get a bright, vibrant color. But this is the goal for today, to do the nails. Today I'm doing this kind of funny project. This was an easel that could like stand, and it has 2 drawers. But what I did is I basically took it all apart because I didn't really want the easel part of this. I just wanted the drawers. There are these inserts like right here. This is like really old, and I was gonna throw it away. Someone gave it to me. And I didn't use it for the easel part, but I always loved the drawers. And then today I was like, you know, I bet I could take it apart and reassemble it and have the drawers and put that in my desk. So I took it all apart. I messed up though, because this is supposed to be up here and this is supposed to be in here, but I cannot get it to fit back where it was. It's like, in the process of sawing to take pieces off, it broke. So I'm waiting for the glue to dry so I can put these in there. And then this will go in my little desk over here. The idea is that the drawers are gonna go right here. That way I have a place for like pencils, because I like that the drawers are really narrow. And normally I have baskets in here, but I think I'm gonna put those drawers here and then maybe the baskets over here. But we'll see. We'll see if I like it after it dries. But I was gonna throw it away, or I was gonna like sell it anyway. Right now I'm editing a video, or I'm actually uploading a video. I changed my, what's it called? Gallery wall. I couldn't have the pictures on the wall with paper. It was bothering me, so I put this up. I've had this like display grid kind of thing in different places in my house, and I can just never be happy with it. But I put it here to see if I like it here, and I put some stuff like from my students, a drawing I did, some pictures, movie tickets. So we're gonna see if I can stand this being here, but I don't know. I like the idea of having like just random things in this area, but in the same time it kind of bothers me that they're so random. I don't know. Up here I'm gonna put a shelf and put my favorite books up here. So that's what I'm doing today. Just kind of making things and moving things around. I put this shelf really close to this one so it can kind of look like it's all one piece. I don't know if it works, but I didn't want to put it any higher because I wanted to stack books up and I didn't want it to be like a super small gap. I don't know. I'm very compulsive, so I just did it. And I can always move it. It's not like permanent, so. But I think it works. I think it looks okay. So now I'm just gonna pick like some of my favorite books, and I don't know if I'm gonna get bookends or if I'm gonna stack them like horizontally, but I think I like it. We'll see, we'll see. Final Girls is too big. I didn't even think about the fact that some of these books might hang over the edge of the shelf. I think it might look better if they're vertical. The main book I wanted on the shelf was Final Girls. So it's like, oh, it's gonna drive me crazy if it's not flush with this shelf. Like, I wish books could all be the same size. Like the width could change because obviously some books are longer than others, but I wish they could all be the same height and the same like depth. So I really dislike that books, the sizes of the books change depending on the books you buy or where they're from. We'll see. Final Girls may not be able to be on the shelf. It worked. I let the glue dry overnight, and now I have these narrow drawers. I need to clean them out, but I can put paper in here or pens and pencils, and they're large drawers, like they are deep. So really happy that, I mean, it's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. It's functional, and I'm really happy that I didn't throw that out and I actually am able to use it. So now I have drawers here, and then I can still put little baskets in here, maybe not 2 anymore, but I can for sure put 1 here. And now I have these little drawers. And I kind of like that they match this. Like I'm gonna keep them the wood color, but very, very happy about these. But I just need to get a little, I don't know what you call it, a little like knob, I guess, to put here so I can easily pull them in and out. And I might just be able to like glue something, not necessarily drill something on there, but happy that worked. I thought I would end the vlog with my April reads. I read 3 books in April, and the first one that I read was The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. I started this book last year towards the end of the school year, but decided to read It Ends With Us instead, and didn't really end up liking that book very much, but I really liked this book and I knew I was gonna come back to it. So this book is basically an interrogation, like almost the entire book. The FBI, there are 2 FBI men that are interrogating a butterfly. This woman has been kidnapped by this man who captures women, and this is really not a spoiler because you find all of this out in like the first chapter, but he kidnaps women and puts them in his garden, and he tattoos butterfly wings, like large butterfly wings on their back, and he's the gardener and they are his butterflies. And the book starts off with this interrogation with one of the butterflies, and it's very clear that they have somehow like escaped. Something has happened that she's no longer in the garden, and almost the whole book is her explaining like her life before the garden and life in the garden. And it's very detailed, and it's It's dark. It is a dark book. There were even some parts I was like, oh, that's it's icky. But it was really, really good. And my issue with this book, what I really disliked about this book was the end. I couldn't believe the end. I was like confused. The last like chapter, or maybe not even the whole chapter, like last half of the last chapter, I was like, what? How he wrapped up the book, or oh, maybe it's a woman. How the author wrapped up the book, I was like, I thought it was a terrible ending. Just like an easy cop-out or something. I don't know. I was confused. I was so confused that I had to look it up. I was like, did I not understand the ending? Did I miss something? And I looked it up. I did not misunderstand it. A lot of people disliked the end of that book. And some people said you need to read the other books for it to kind of make sense, but it's still not a good ending. I thought for how good the book was, how like detailed the book was, and then to give it like a, I don't know how I would say it, like a cheap ending, I was like, that's, like I felt like cheated of my ending. So I liked the book. I liked it a lot. I feel like, I don't know that I've read a like crime book before about this like terrible person that does terrible things. It's some parts of that book are, but it was a very exciting read until the end, and I did not like the end at all. But that was the first book that I read. I'm still glad I read it, but I thought this was going to be like one of my like top kind of books, like top favorite books. At the end I was like, oh no, this is not.
Okay, editing Jade here because I realized I did not explain something very well. So the butterfly garden is so good because the FBI agents are interrogating one of the butterflies, one of the women, because they feel that she's a leader in the garden, and she like stands out from the other women. And also one of the FBI agents feels that she's a suspect, not a victim. So he's trying to get all this information out of her, but she is a very difficult person, and she's not like giving him a lot of information, or she's taking a very long time to give him information. So he's very suspicious of her, and so throughout the book we're trying, like, looking for clues to see if she, helped the gardener, or if she is truly a victim and just kind of a difficult person. And none of that is really a spoiler because you find that out in the first chapter. So I just wanted to explain that because I was editing the video and I was like, wait, I didn't explain like why the book is actually really good.
So that was the first book I read. The second book I read was Shatter Me, the one that everyone read or was all over TikTok. This book, I thought it was going to be so good. It starts off so interesting. It's about a girl in an asylum in the future. It's a dystopian future, and her touch kills people, and so she's in an asylum. Sounds really interesting, and the beginning was really interesting, and then it just got like I don't know. Okay, I guess this would be a spoiler, so if you don't want a spoiler. So this is like a romance as well. She falls in love, but everything happens so fast. I'm sorry, this book is like, it's so fast how fast she falls in love, and I'm like, slow it down. There's like no rush. And I think that's probably gonna come into play in the second book, because someone else even says like, how can you already love him? But, and I know that is a total spoiler, so hopefully you skipped if you wanted to read this book. But I don't really think that this book was worth it. It was a very short read. The book, the margins are really large and the font is large. I felt like I just breezed through this book. So the beginning was really interesting. She's in an asylum. We're learning about her kind of power, I guess. And then at the end, I was like, oh, this is kind of getting interesting again, because it is leading you to the second book. And the second book might be better. I've heard the second book is also better, but I don't know. I don't know that I would read the second, or at least not right now. I'm not interested. After I finished this one, I was like, I don't want to read the second, but I might. It's still kind of interesting, but I didn't think it was a great book. I guess that's what I'm coming to. I know a lot of people loved this book, at least from what I saw on TikTok, but I didn't think it was very good. It just felt so rushed, and I feel like I felt like at the beginning of the book, we were learning about her and like trying to like connect with that character. And as the book went on, I didn't feel connected to her. I felt like it was just so rushed that I didn't feel connected to the character. That's how I felt. With other books, you like get very invested in the characters, and this was just like, I didn't think it was very good. But I might still read the second, because I am kind of curious to see what happens, but we'll see. The third book, and one of my favorite books, The Hunger Games. So this book was on Netflix. It's not anymore. I think it's on Hulu now, but it was on Netflix, and I got really like, emotional is not the word, nostalgic, and I wanted to watch the movie, but I really wanted to read the book first because I loved the books so much. Like the Hunger Games books and the Divergent books, I was super, super attached to those books. And I actually lost my other two books in the series, or got rid of them when I moved, but I don't know what happened to those books, so I ended up buying the whole series in another version, from a used bookstore. But I did have my original Hunger Games. And I love this book. It's so good. These books are so like, I'm so like attached to these books. The first and second for sure. I remember the third book, I didn't like the third book as much. Like how it kind of ended, I didn't like as much, but the first and second, I loved. So I read this and then I watched the movie. The book and the movie were super similar, and I remember when I watched the movie hoping that they were going to do the book justice, and they did. I thought that the movies were, did the books right. And I read this is a reread. I read this, I did not write the date, but it was before the movies came out. It was a long time ago. So I mean, everyone knows what the Hunger Games is about, but it's a dystopian future. Everyone has seen the movie, but I loved this book. I found it kind of interesting that in the month of April, I didn't read any fantasy. I read a crime book, which I actually have before. I realized that that Final Girls is also like a crime kind of book, but not like an interrogation kind of book or with like FBI. It was a different kind of book, but I read a crime book and then two dystopian future kind of books. So you could tell I was very sick of fantasy. And I really like dystopian books, like altered reality or dystopian future. I love those kind of books. So I was in the mood for a book that was just like about humans, not about fairies. And I think I got that in April, even though Shatter Me wasn't my favorite book. But those were the three books I read in April. And the Butterfly Garden I read digitally, so I don't have a physical copy. And when I was reading the book, I knew, like, I loved it. So I was like, I'm gonna buy the paperback so I have the physical copy, because I get connected to my books. And then at the end I was like, well, I don't think I care anymore. But I really love having like books that, I mean, I've had this book forever and I'm like really connected to this book. So it is going on my shelf that I showed you guys, which I wish was in this like shot, but it's not. And I have it up there on my shelf. But I enjoyed the books that I read in April. I'm struggling in May. It's been a struggle with books this month, but we'll see. I have to finish one, but it has not been going well, I'll say that. I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.